Well, hello, and good evening. I am so excited that we are able to come to you live from wherever it is that you are located right now. My name is Ebony M. Walker of EM Walker Speaks, and I am so excited to be able to facilitate this conversation tonight, hosted by Chosen Pen. Welcome to our mental health virtual summit. Give yourselves a hand for being in the building with us tonight. Listen, we have some powerful speakers who are very knowledgeable in the realm of mental health. And as we know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it's a conversation that needs to be had more often. So tonight, you're going to hear from not only just some experts, but people who have had mental health challenges, who help other people overcome challenges. So we're going to cover so many topics in a short period of time, just to let you know that we are paying attention and that there are resources, there is help. But before we jump into it, and before I begin to introduce our first set of speakers, I want you to pay attention to this next ad, if you will, that is going to be coming up on your stage, or on your screen rather. But while you are tuning in, we need you to make sure that you let us know if you can hear us. We're paying attention. So if you see us looking down, I promise you, we're not playing Words with Friends or playing Tetris or anything like that. We are making sure that we're paying attention to you, our listeners, our supporters, those who may be going through mental health challenges and just need to know if someone is listening, if someone notices them, if someone has resources that are available to them. So please let us know that you can hear us clearly. Comment in the comment box. We're watching. And if you have questions throughout the night, and we'll repeat this, but please write those questions. We want to make sure that we are here for you to help you understand how to navigate through whatever it is that you may be battling as it pertains to mental health. But again, my name is Ebony Walker. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to our phenomenal backstage guru. You can't see her, but I'm going to shout her out anyway. She didn't ask me to, and she probably don't want me to. But since I'm the one that's talking, I'm going to do it anyway. So let us give it up for the Dr. Anissa Short. Give her some virtual love, some virtual hand claps, because she is making sure that all of this flows together well. We also, before we turn the screen over to her, we want to give a major shout out to the phenomenal, the beautiful CEO of Chosen Pen, the one and only Dr. Norma McLaughlin. Listen, if you don't know who she is, first of all, where have you been living? Because obviously it's under a rock. She is one of the most phenomenal women, a woman of wisdom, a woman of access, a woman of resources. And she is allowing us to do this all in the name of just camaraderie, all in the name of pouring back into our community. And listen, she was recently honored by the Fayetteville City Council, but we'll talk about that later because listen, let me just tell you, Dr. Anissa, if you will, please, ma'am, let them know what they need to know. Come on, we see it on the screen. Thank you.
Chosen Pen Publishing welcomes you to our Mental Health Summit 2024. It's not too late to invite a friend. Be sure to ask them to like Chosen Pen Publishing on Facebook and watch us live. In the meantime, are you an author or someone with something phenomenal to share? Chosen Pen would love to have you as our special guest on Conversations with Chosen Pen. For more information, go to our website, chosenpen.com. Go into the Contact Us segment and leave your name, your phone number, and information about what it is you have coming up that we can share with our general population. A Salute to Fathers is June 29th, last Saturday in the month of June. This event is all about 21st century fatherhood. It's another intimate TEDx experience hosted by Chosen Pen Publishing. Your husband, your son, your uncle, your father. We want all the men to come out to be a part of this awesome event. More information can be found on Eventbrite. A Salute to Fathers, hosted by Chosen Pen Publishing. It's a 21st century fatherhood celebration, another intimate experience hosted by an intimate TEDx experience hosted by Chosen Pen Publishing. Calling all authors to join our virtual book tour of 2024. Would you like some exposure, more exposure over a 2-month period? Check out our website at chosenpen.com for more information on how you can be a part of our virtual book tour in 2024. You do not have to be a Chosen Pen author as long as you have a quality book that's accessible to the general public via Amazon or your personal website. Check out chosenpen.com for more information and give us a call for more information on how you can be a part of the tour. Have you written a children's book, or do you offer products and services that are catered to children? Chosen Pen Publishing is excited and honored to be partnering with Brown Girl and Brown Boy Red Carpet Book Tour that's going to be hosted this year in Fayetteville, August the 3rd. If you have written a children's book, if you offer products or service that are catered to children, you can be a vendor at this fantastic event. And if you have children or grandchildren, you most definitely want to bring your kids out. Again, that's the Brown Girl and Brown Boy Kids Red Carpet Book Tour, hosted by or powered by Chosen Pen Publishing. The date is August 3rd. It will be from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. This festival type celebration that places an emphasis on literacy is just what the doctor ordered. It's especially important during the summer months when your children are out of school. Be sure to join us. Chosen Pen Publishing is hosting its very first Literacy Awards celebration. Have you written a book that's worthy of recognition? We want you to enter your book. The deadline is September 7th to get your book enrolled or registered as a participant. Go to our website, chosenpen.com, for more information on how you can be a part of the Chosen Pen Publishing Literacy Award celebration. We're going to have top 3 contenders in the areas of fiction, nonfiction, poetry, young adult, and children's books. We want your book to be considered for this special occasion. Check out chosenpen.com for more information. And then certainly last but not least, in the essence or in the spirit of a focus on mental health, check out Dr. Norman McLaughlin's new book, The Forgiveness Game. It's available on Amazon right now, and you can even get it as an Audible. The Forgiveness Game is an awesome story that talks about, let's say, life dynamics, and it places an emphasis also on mental health. Be sure to get your copy today. Thanks again for joining. We hope to hear from you soon. For more information about anything that I've shared, chosenpen.com. Have a great day.
So listen, thank you so much, Dr. Anessa, for those amazing announcements. I almost felt like a church lady said, please govern yourselves accordingly. But thank you for sharing all of that information. So listen, if you are an author, you need to make sure that you connect with Chosen Pen. There are so many events that are upcoming. There are so much, it's just, you have no excuse. I'm telling you, the plethora of access and resources that you have, not only on this live, but even in the comment section, you have no excuse to not evolve in the literary world. Don't say we didn't tell you. But listen, again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We see you showing us love in the comments. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not too late to invite Lottie Dottie and everybody. So make sure you get them in the room, because tonight we are talking about mental health awareness. So listen, I read a quote and it really, really stuck with me. And I want to read this and share this with you. It says, mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive, not where you're going. When I read that, that really hit home, because oftentimes when people hear the term mental health, they figure, okay, something I got to do, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. But it's a process. It's a journey. And in recent years, we've been hearing so much more about mental health awareness, honestly, since the pandemic. Now, we know that mental health has always been an issue. It's always been a topic, but there are some people who have really battled with it more so during and post pandemic, because of the ramifications and the things that people were just closed in and couldn't talk to people, didn't have anywhere to go. That can really take a toll on you. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. So listen, tonight we do have four dynamic speakers who are going to be joining us. The first two that we have, you see their beautiful faces. So in usual Ebony fashion, I joke about this all the time. And shout out to Sylvia Glanton, who is of the Future Rich Aunties. We thank you. She is a phenomenal person, so she knows where I'm about to go. Anytime I'm giving a bio or giving questions or giving an outline, I try my best to follow it. But just because of who I am, I'm probably not going to follow it all the way. Why? Because I love the realness and the rawness just of in the moment conversations. Now, hear me. I'm going to make sure that we follow protocol. I'm going to make sure that we keep the main thing. But sometimes you got to just shock people and get those real responses from them. So before we go any further, the first two beautiful faces that you see on the screen, listen, I know who they are. I know what they do. But am I going to read their long bios? Nope, I'm sure not going to do it. Why? Because outside of the bio, I want you to meet who these women are. We've got Michelle McKinney. She is a mental health therapist. She is a veteran. She is, oh my goodness, have you ever heard of Ugly Essentials? If not, you better find out and she'll let you know about all that. But she is the name in the face behind that. And her passion is to help the youth, not just the children. She'll help anybody if you need it, but she has a focus on the youth because they deal with a lot of things that they don't often get to talk about, or they're often shunned and told, be quiet. You ain't going through nothing. Your life is not that hard. And little do we know, our babies go through a lot. But how do we know that? Because we were once their age. We once went through stuff, and sometimes we forget what it felt like for us to be shunned, for us to be ignored. So we got to get back into having conversations, healthy conversations, so that people can recognize, hey, no matter what age I am, somebody understands me and there is someone who listens to me. So this is just her introduction, but I want y'all to give it up and show some love, get some virtual hearts and hugs and all of that for the Michelle McKinney. Come on, come on, come on. We need to see you showing love because we watching that. If you're not showing love, we're going to come looking for you. Now, listen, we're going to come looking for you. But next up, we have a certified women's health coach. Now, what does that mean? I'm not going to tell you. She's going to tell you in a little bit. But this woman, she has such a beautiful spirit and a powerful testimony. But she just wants women to know it's okay to feel how you feel wherever you are. But if it's not healthy, let's help you maneuver and move out of that. I hope I described it right, because that's just what I'm feeling. Because as women, we go through so many things. We deal with so many things. And there are so many topics that we don't often get to talk about. But she helps to create that safe space for that to happen. So I want you to give it up and show some love for. And if I butcher her name, Father, please forgive me, because I know her name. But all of a sudden, it's not Chioma Okoye. Hey, listen, I got it. So y'all show some love, put some hearts and some adoration in the comment section. So listen, y'all. I'm glad that you can see us all on the same screen, because I just want us to just have an open and honest conversation. And again, if you have questions, if you have comments, we're watching. So put them in the comment section, because we are paying attention to what you're saying. So I'm going to throw this question out there. Now, this is a curveball. I told y'all I probably wasn't going to ask y'all all the questions that you sent me, but we're going to throw some in there. But just when you think of the stigma behind mental health, and Chioma, I want you to answer it from the stance of a woman, and then Michelle from the stance of children. When you think about mental health, would you say is the number one reason as to why people don't seek help when they're going through mental health challenges?
Because people will think they are crazy.
Mhm. Plain and simple.
That yeah, because people don't want to seem like something is wrong with them, and they see it as something shameful,
Yeah.
and that's why they don't want to be an outcast. They don't want to be belittled. So that is why people hide that, even when they know they are already going through it, even when they are convinced they know this is not normal. I need to seek help. They don't, because they don't want to be labeled.
And that's so sad, because we would rather stick with all of the labels that we've allowed ourselves or circumstances to give us than to say, you know what, I'm not crazy, but if I don't get help, I just might go there. And it's so unfortunate. So I'm glad you said that. And I'm seeing the comments. We have someone that says they needed this, and that was what they said in their first session. And that's real. So let us kill that stigma tonight. If you know you need to talk to somebody, I don't care how big or small your issue might be. It is okay for you to say, I need help. hear it from us. It is perfectly okay to say, you know what? You can have everything. You can have the money, the house, the spouse, the children, the businesses, and still feel like you are not becoming who you know. It's like there's got to be more. And it's okay to say, I'm not okay. I put that up on social media often. I don't care how strong we appear on social media. All of us are human and we have our moments. And even in those moments where the world may make you think you're crazy, you have the power. You have death and life is in the power of the tongue. You have the power to say, I might feel like this, but I don't have to stay like this. So it's okay to talk about it. Michelle, tell us just from the standpoint, because you work with children, what's the stigma? Why won't young people ask for help or tell anybody about the issues they're having?
Besides what my battle buddy just said, it's even more impacted by children and youth. So more so with that, the fear, not only that, they just don't know how to really regulate their emotions. So they don't even know what they're feeling sometimes, a lot of times.
Wow.
And then with that, if they feel like they need to talk about it, they might get bullied in school, or if they try to be vulnerable and tell somebody, or if they try to talk to their parents about it, their parents might not want to listen. And I'm just being very honest. Because they might be going through their own thing themselves. So it's even prevalent in youth and in our teens and our children, because they just don't have the skills as of, because they're young. They don't know. Some of us at our adult age don't even know. So just think about it, how it looks in their environment and their lens, that they just don't know what they're feeling. They might be crying. They might be anxiety. It could be something even as ADHD. And the knowledge.
I love that, because you brought out a very important point, and I don't think we even consider this, and it's not an excuse, but it's a reality. Most children, if they say something, sometimes they see that their parents are also going through something. So it was like, well, how can I talk about this? Because if I tell mama this, or if I tell daddy this, and especially in single parent homes,
That's
if
right.
they see that mama is stressed out and mama is trying, the last thing they want to say is, hey mama, I'm feeling XYZ. But not knowing that if you come and tell your mother that you got an issue, regardless of what she got going on, what is she going to do? Put that cape on? Now, is that fair to her? It may not be fair, but she's going to make sure you get help. Why? Because no parent wants to see their children going through battling anything, especially if they can help it. So I'm glad you said that. So I want to ask you this question, Michelle, because we know that there is a spirit called social media that is just wreaking havoc on any and everything possible. So talk a little bit about how you feel social media has helped, which it hasn't, or damaged the mentality of our young people.
I think it's damaged because we have shown in social media now that it's all about presence, image, all that. So we are seeing behaviors come out that we probably have not seen in a long time. Or even in our times when we were growing up, we saw it, but it wasn't so tumultuous. That we can talk about body shaming. It's just unfortunately, with society and what we're going on in society, we showcase a lot of negative information. And two, like you said earlier, the mind is a powerful thing, but words are too as well. So if we don't be proactive about that and try to ensure that what we bring in, good things, so we can release, because if we don't, it's going to still be a negative impact or an effect.
I love how you just said that social media, we use it to showcase all of the bad things. Now, and listen, to all of our listeners and watchers, whether you're catching us live or watching the replay, we're not saying social media is bad. We thank God for social media. You're watching us right now because of social media. So it's not that we have this disdain for it. And some people will get so frustrated by what social media does that they forget it has some good. But I love how you said it showcases the bad, because nowadays when you see a kid, you see a phone. I don't care how old the baby is. You got, toddlers, as soon as they can, some babies can't even hold a bottle, but they can hold a phone. And they're watching whatever they're watching. But as they get older, you see, 5, 6, 7-year olds wanting a TikTok account so that they can
Mhm.
do what? Scroll and look and scroll. And where it is supposed to be for entertainment, where it's supposed to be for connectivity, now it is turning into something where you look at it as a mirror. And if you don't feel
Comparison.
match up with
Yes.
what you're seeing, then
Mhm.
there is a psychological thing that begins
That's
to
right.
tell you, oh, you know what, I got to change. So I
Mhm.
want you to, and I want to ask Chioma this, even as it pertains to just the different things that affect our mental health. We know that social media is one of them, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's probably one of the bigger ones. What other factors do you believe impact mental health overall?
Definitely social media, not just for kids, but for adults. The fear of missing out. She is doing better than I am. They are richer than I am. They are over there and I'm over here. That can lead to depression, to anxiety, to then we talk about the social determinants of health, like
Mhm.
where you are living, access to good food, access to transportation. Is your salary enough to provide? Money is one of the biggest things people stress about.
Mhm.
Is what I'm earning able to provide for my family to get the luxuries? That's one thing that can lead to mental illness, mental such as anxiety and depression. Then loneliness. Despite social media connecting us, loneliness is a big thing in young adults, in parents, in some older people. We are lonely. We
Mhm.
have online friends, and then we don't make our time to deal and meet with people
Mhm.
in our little area where we live. So that's another thing that can contribute to depression. Also, the crisis going on in the world, things like that, we don't think about that. Listening to the news is always something going on. And now we just don't turn on the TV or the newspaper to see the news. Is in our hands all the time. We are reading this stuff, places we've never heard of. And as human beings, we worry about this. It adds to something extra on your plate that you normally will not have worried about. So those are things when they now, when you're worried about social media, you're worried about money. You see how all of it can now add up to be a bigger thing than just being worried about money. So those are some of the things in this changing world that we need to pay attention and figure out how to deal with it, how to manage it so that it doesn't just take us overtake our life.
Mhm.
I love that. And you said, well, everything that you said and even everything that Michelle said is so key, but you keep throwing points and nuggets. And I just want to make sure that our listeners really are, that you're catching this. If you look at the news, if you look at social media, Michelle, she hinted at it first and Chioma just went into it. It's showcasing all of the things that will cause us to have mental issues, anxiety, depression, the spirit of comparison, self-sabotage, all of
Mhm.
that. So we
Mhm.
have to be careful what we listen to, what we tune into, what we give our attention to, because if we're not careful, we'll begin to look at all of that and then we'll start taking on things that we have no business taking on. Prime example, I just had to stop myself because we know everybody, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and whether you are for or against, I don't care about that, but talking about Donald Trump. Well, I read something earlier, all of a sudden my phone started buzzing. I'm like, why am I getting all these notifications about Trump? I don't care nothing about what's going on. And then I started reading the commentary about the guilty, and I'm like, you know what, and I'm reading these comments like, oh my gosh. Then I said, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why am I giving time to that? So I want you to comment on that. And we, as you all see, we have another dynamic speaker who just popped in. So I'm going to tell y'all who that is in just a moment because he is holding it down for the men tonight. But just hold on. We go make sure we give him the proper the proper introduction in a moment. But I want to ask Michelle and Chioma this, and then I also will have Mr. Fields to chime in. Even whenever you are engaging on social media, you're reading the things that you're reading, you see all of what's going on. Why do you think that women and youth and even men have a problem with just putting the phone down?
It's addictive. It's something to do.
And it was set up to do because they monitor everything you do.
Right.
So they set it up to where you keep going.
Now, y'all know that they get up there and they get the eye-catching phrases and
Of
the
course.
pictures. And, you know, that's to entice you
what
to
it
come
does.
on in and look at what we got. Yeah, the phone was beeping and buzzing and bing, 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 all about Trump and everything. But see, for me, it got a little bit too much. And it caused my anxiety to go up. And I had to turn my phone off,
Yeah.
literally, and turn
that's
it
real.
upside, you know, put it
Listen.
on the face instead of the back. Man, it really did get me because I'm like, will a person, you know, in my mind, this is me, you all, this is not everybody. In my mind, I'm just sort of like, man, why everything working well for that individual? Why it's not working for the African American male, female culture? And you know, and then I'll go into my downward spiral. And I don't want that. So I had to really literally turn my phone off.
Listen, oh my goodness, you all, in case you're just joining us, we thank you for chiming into the Chosen Pen Mental Health Virtual Summit. So we've heard from Michelle McKinney, we've heard from Chioma a little bit, but let me just give him the proper introduction. Listen, I'm only going to tell you his name. It is Wendell Fields. Listen, his story is phenomenal. I love his energy. And tonight he is representing for the men because men often go through some mental health things too. So if you want to hear what he has to say, I just want you to put in the comment section, talk to us, Wendell. Come on, we listen now. I told y'all you got to play. You got to talk back to us. So we need to hear you. We need to see you say, talk to us, Wendell, because we got some questions that we're going to ask him. We need his expertise. We need to know his heart and mind about it. So I'm waiting to see. Lord, Wendell, they acting like they don't want to hear from you. I know they do. It's just the comments are coming in slow. See, there we go. Tisa, thank you. Thank you. She said, talk to us, Wendell. So listen, we're just going to go ahead and hit it not where it hurts. I don't want it to hurt. But Wendell, now, as a man's man, a strong Black man who has learned to come into who he is. Look, go on and pop your collar, sir. That's it. As that man, help us ladies understand, and this is, I'm going to throw a curveball. I don't want you to tell us yet why men don't talk, but help us understand how we as women can help men talk about their issues and their problems.
Good question. Good question.
Okay. Hey, y'all. My name is Wendell Fields talking to you. And I like saying that name, boy. I used to hate hearing that name because I associated that name with getting in trouble. So a lady by the name of Philandra Johnson said, Wendell Fields, where you been, boy? I never heard somebody talk to me in that way. And that's how I introduced myself, because my name is good. And it took me a while to realize that. So when it comes down to mental health in men, the best thing I can tell women is use empathy. Why do I say empathy? You're looking at a gentleman whose culture tells him he has to be a provider. He has to be a protector. He has to be solid, have a solid foundation. And so therefore he can't be emotional. He can't let his feelings wear on his shoulder, because if he does, society and culture says you weak, you ain't this, you ain't that, and you supposed to be this, that, and the other. And it reminds me of a cartoon that I recently saw of a little boy. His mom is telling him, real men don't cry, real men don't do this, real men, and she's telling her son this. And it shows another box where he's grown up, and his girlfriend or wife is saying, why don't you connect with me emotionally? You don't share your feelings. You and in this, a man has to go through so much to provide for his family. So therefore, he can't show that he's in pain physically, emotionally, or mentally, or else he's considered weak. He cannot just come out and share with the fellas, because we're not geared that way. Women are more social. They talk about color of their toenails, y'all. They talk about, did you get the twist right in your hair? They talk about, girl, and men are just like, hey, I got a haircut. It's lined up right and we good, but it's not an outlet out there for us. And so when it comes to us expressing ourselves, the most you can get out of is, yeah. But yet we haven't been taught that. We haven't been able to show that vulnerability. We have to be honest with ourselves. And we just don't have that. So from my point of view, from a male's point of view, my point of view, you got to encourage that. Hey, I see that you working so hard for us. Man, can I just listen to you? Talk about your day. Can you talk to me about how you feeling about such and such? Hey, what does that mean, man? And you could be popping their toes, and rubbing their feet, and it'll be a gesture of, this woman really, she popping toes and rubbing my feet, and it's just not a meal that she giving me. She's setting the atmosphere for me to share my day, what my concerns are, with people, places, and things. And she's cultivating that I can trust her. Those things really do help a man to come out and be vulnerable and honest and say, baby, it's rough right now. God dog, I got up there, I woke up at 4:00 in the morning and I had to get to work and the boss chewed me out and I'm trying to be strong, but God dog, this man. Is that a good example for you?
That's perfect. And I promise you're teaching us some things tonight. So I want to ask you this also. And then I also want the ladies to answer this question, but especially specifically for men, because one of the things you said was talking about setting an atmosphere for him to be comfortable and for him to want to talk. So my question to all of you, and I want to start with you, Wendell, is what does that atmosphere look like for men, for women, for children? What would you say is a safe space or a safe atmosphere? What does it look like?
Well, it's different strokes for different folks. What might work for me might not work for you, But I can tell you some fundamental things of give great eye-to-eye contact.
That's right.
Touch the individual. I don't have hair on my head, but if someone would just rub and say, come on, talk to me now. I know it's hard. And it's setting up that environment, isn't it?
You would spill the beans if they rub your head. Gotcha. Okay.
Hey,
ladies, that's all it takes. Rub his head.
Hey, go run his bath water instead of him running yours. And then get out and get the baby oil, warm it up, massage the joker, and talk to him and reassure him that he's the best thing since sliced pie, and that I trust you, I understand you. But in order to understand you even more, come on, share with me how you feel about such and such, or think about such and such,
Yes.
because I want to be a help to you.
Mhm.
But I can't help you if you don't say none. A closed mouth don't get fed.
Mm,
So you gotta open up, baby. Talk to me now. I'm
yes.
here for you.
I love
And
it.
and then here goes something for you. I apologize.
Mm.
Please forgive me
Ooh,
for hurting you in this way, this
ooh,
manner. It's not
ooh.
my intent. It's
Mhm.
I just don't know how to communicate. Be honest.
Mhm.
Those things will
See,
help.
I love that. And some women may believe that it takes a whole bunch of extra pomp and circumstance and lights, camera, and action when all you want is attention. So, ladies, I hope you're taking note. He just gave us some powerful thing, eye contact, rub his head, massage him, look him in his eyes and say, I want to hear from you. So, thank you for that. So, Chioma, okay, even as it pertains to women, speak for the women. What makes that atmosphere right so that we'll be vulnerable to whomever when we know we're having a bad day and we need to talk?
Just like he said, listening to the person, be kind. I always say we are all carrying a load,
Mhm.
Mhm.
uh, invisible load that
Mhm.
nobody knows.
Mhm.
There is a lot of people go through trauma.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Some they don't even know that they did. We'll talk about childhood as adverse experiences where people go through stuff when they are younger and
Mhm.
then are acting out when they are
Mhm.
older
Mhm.
Mhm.
because of that and don't know. And usually, trauma is not really what happened to you, but how you processed what happened to you and the reaction. So finding out what is underneath the anger, what is underneath, I can do it myself, or leaving me alone, or the screaming. Just making that time to listen to the person's story. It might be something that happened when they were younger, or happened with an old partner, or happened with their mother, and they are seeing it in you or their father. So listen and understand the person's story, their background before they got to that particular. And I even say, even with strangers, now I see people driving crazy and screaming. I'm like, oh, they're going through something. So I try to be kind because
Mhm.
the world we are in, people,
And
we
that
are struggling.
that's something that we all have to be careful with because I've learned this.
Yeah.
If I'm having a bad day and I'm in traffic and or I'm in a rush, I'm whatever, somebody
Hmm.
cut me off, oh, I'm angry, but we don't know what that person is going through. Now that doesn't mean that they have the right to do it,
Yeah.
but you also need to be careful because you don't know their frame of mind. And we've seen people pull
Go
over
off.
and
Hmm.
do heinous things to other people in traffic, all because you didn't go, you cut me off, you let the light turn. People have
Hmm.
lost their lives for
Because of
ignorant things. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth me responding?
that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Is it
Mhm.
worth me responding? What
Mhm.
does that? I saw Wendell with his hand up. Uh-oh, he had like he got to say it. Go ahead, Wendell. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do we know what adverse childhood experiences are?
Mm.
Can you explain
Mhm.
it
Well,
to the
see, I mean,
people? Because a lot of people might not know.
well, you talk about it, and then Michelle gonna talk about it because I was
Yeah.
gonna ask her what some
Yeah.
of those look like. So you go
No,
ahead
no,
since you opened the door.
oh no,
No,
no, you go on and make that thing happen.
but
I
it's
just,
necessary. Yes,
I just
No, it
wanted
is.
us to understand that
yes,
we might not know that, and
it's
Yeah.
so
I
necessary.
know what it means. You know what
Absolutely.
it means,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
maybe some other people don't know what that means.
So you tell us what it means, and then Michelle's gonna chime in, and we're gonna let y'all piggyback off of each other. Y'all
Mhm.
learn us something today. Come on, teach us, teach us.
Adverse
Oh,
childhood experiences. Well, it can be a number of things, you all. It can be the family dynamics
Mhm.
where it's only one parent in the home, and you got one parent who's in jail, or it can be that um, the violence that you've seen domestically, you
Mhm.
know, in the home, or it can be bullying. It can be,
Mhm.
for me, my relatives beat me up and
Mhm.
stripped my clothes off and threw me out in the front door, so people can look at. That's the reason I dress up now, because I don't. Y'all think I'm kidding, but I don't want to. It bothers me if I look bad,
Mhm.
or it can be outside of the home. It can be the violence that you see in the neighborhood, that it can be the bullying at school. It can be a variety of things that's outside the home. But believe it or not, nature, the thunderstorms, if a tornado come through, or earthquakes, or even war.
Mhm.
Those things are adverse childhood experiences that can cause trauma for an individual. Now, I just named a little bit, but I know Michelle. I know Michelle finna do this thing up right now. She finna
Help
tear
us,
it.
Michelle. Come on, bring it,
Well,
bring it.
good. It's funny
I
because
helped
we
you
talk
bring it
about
out.
there's really the only difference between children and us as human beings is that they don't know how to regulate their emotions. They don't know what they're feeling. They don't know how to process that. So that's a whole bottle of anxiety right there itself. And when Dale talked about traumatic things, adverse things that we associate to trauma, but there's also those things that we like to society now. We talk about inner child wounds, which comes from that, but it can also stem from something as simple as you're not able to voice your opinion as a child, or how your parents loved you and there's something that was lacking. So those show up. I will call them representatives, but they show up as adults. So as children, what I try to do in my profession is to, first of all, just give them a safe space, because people cannot communicate authentically if they're not in a safe space. And then we say something, as church folks say, God don't like chaos, and he doesn't like chaos, and he doesn't like confusion. So if you're dealing with youth and trying to get them to open up, the first thing to do besides empathy is just to be kind as well, and just give them a space to be able to receive your energy. I think sometimes we don't realize how energy works, and how it can impact what we do in day to day, whether it's in a conversation, relationships, or whatever. So just try to make sure they have a safe space so they able to feel that they can communicate. And then two, sometimes, like I said before, they don't know what they're saying, so you might have to help them along. So the why. I say this even in my own life. Why? It sounds very simple, but it's impactful. You've got to know your why. If it's just like your purpose. So if we can get to that and have them a space that they're able to discuss why, then that's just a better environment for them, for their community, their teachers, their parents, because whatever happens in the home, as we should know, it's going to be affect and play in the classroom. So it's really a collective effort.
Wow.
Um, and now we're post-pandemic. We're still dealing with things.
Mhm.
Still dealing with things. So I cannot stress enough about being authentic, transparent with children,
Mhm.
and just providing the safe space. Just what you would want for yourself.
That's it.
I think we got to really show in society now that it's okay to be kind. It's
Ah,
okay to be kind. It's okay to have boundaries.
there
That
you go.
doesn't mean you're weak.
That's right. That's right.
Healthy relationships, no matter if it's a marriage, your girlfriends, your co-workers,
Mhm.
you have to have boundaries. Boundaries is
Right.
good because that's for you. That's for you to save you and put you in a safe zone. So I think if we have more environments for that for our children and our youth, then that will be a great step for
Love
positivity.
that. So y'all touched on it and you hit it, because we don't oftentimes think about the things that happened to us in our past, in our childhood, that as adults we still struggle with. It's funny because I did something one day, and I'm not going to, go into it deep, but I had a response. And then when I had the response to something that was said, I had to stop and say, wait, why did I say that?
Mhm.
What is it? And then I immediately felt like I felt when I was 6 years old, being reprimanded for something that
Mhm.
wasn't a big deal. But it's amazing how those things, we have mastered how to ignore them instead of just dealing with them and putting them out there. So again, it goes back to, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay even when you have a response. Why am I doing this? Why? Ask yourself questions and ask other people questions. I mean, what's the worst they can do? Ignore you, tell you no. But when you need to get to the bottom of a thing, it's okay to say, why am I acting like this? Why is that my response? One major thing, and I'm just going to throw it out there, compliments. Has anybody ever had problems accepting compliments? Oh my goodness. Listen, in the comment section,
Mhm.
I want y'all to tell us, have you ever had a problem accepting a compliment? Because that is a deeper issue.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm not a mental health therapist. I'm not a mental health professional, but I am someone who has dealt with mental health battles. And I didn't understand that I was ignoring signs of things by simply not acknowledging when someone gave me a compliment. So they would say, "Oh, girl, I love your outfit. Oh, this thing. Oh, I got this from," instead of just saying thank you.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know some of y'all do it too. You just don't want to tell on yourself, but it's okay. We're not going to put you on Front Street, but that is something that we need to address. But listen, and we're seeing the comments coming in. Many of you have had those same issues. So thank you for your transparency and your vulnerability. Thank you for your honesty. Listen, we've got quite a few other things to talk about, but we want to share another video clip with you because listen, I mean, in the spirit of Wendell Fields, we got to make sure we let the men know you are a part of this conversation too. So if our amazing, amazing backstage guru, the woman of many hats, if you could please, Dr. Anissa, play our next short clip, please, ma'am. Listen, I love that. That spoke volumes. I really hope you all were looking at and reading the words on that. It's amazing to see men saying, "Hey, I need somebody to talk to," and then having that safe space, having people who will listen to them, not judge them, not make, "Oh, you're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to be." What does that mean? we just got to be careful at how we respond to people. But
Mhm.
listen, again, I am Ebony M. Walker. I am your facilitator for tonight's conversation. If you are just chiming in, thank you for joining the virtual summit, the Mental Health Virtual Summit, hosted by Chosen Pen. Special shout out to Dr. Norma McLaughlin, who allowed us to have this conversation. We honor you. We thank you just for creating this space for us to be able to pour back into our community. So listen, we've introduced our phenomenal panel tonight. We have the Michelle McKinney, we have the Chioma Okoye, and we have the Wendell Fields. Listen, every time I say his name, I gotta say it like that because oh my goodness, and the energy he brings behind it. Listen, all of us are going to be breaking our names down syllable by syllable because of this man tonight,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
But again, so we're talking about mental health, and we're specifically talking about it from the perspective of the youth versus women versus men. And we've gotten some really, really good pointers tonight. But I want us to dig into a topic that people throw around so haphazardly, and that is self care. So we know when it comes to mental health, everybody battles with it. We have discovered some ways that we can open up the doors for men, women, and children to feel comfortable. Now,
Mhm.
when it pertains to self, and I want to start with Chioma, what does self care look like for women? And when do we know we need to implement a self care routine?
Mm.
Today.
Right now. Yesterday.
If
Immediately.
immediately right now, if you don't have
Mhm.
one, even if you have one, you need more. You need to, I call it creating a toolbox, because most of the time we are so busy juggling work, kids, if you have them. Some of us are parenting our parents and then the young kids. And the more we live in life, the more struggles we have seen, the more difficulties, the more people we know are dying. There are so many things that can pull you down at any moment. So creating that toolbox that of things that you enjoy. I have had, I know we didn't say here, but I'm a nurse also. I have patients come in and I ask, what do you do for pleasure? When they comment about trying to lose weight and because they're bored, they eat. And I ask, what do you do for pleasure? And they look at me and be like, huh? What do you do for fun? And they are like, since the kids
Mhm.
have gotten older, I don't even know anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm like, okay, what were you doing years ago? Then I give that as an assignment. When you come back, let me know what you actually enjoy, what brings you joy. And it doesn't have to be something expensive, it doesn't have to be something you need to leave your house to do. It's okay to leave your house sometimes if that's what you enjoy doing. So, creating that toolbox, you can write it on the paper, you can have it on your phone, you can have it on a journal, so
Mhm.
that when things start happening, sometimes I go days, I'm like, I feel somehow, I just
Mhm.
something. And then I'm like, Phew, I haven't danced in a long time. Just that dancing, putting on music and dancing like nobody's watching, it changes the mood, because a lot of time we are in this fight or flight or freeze. We're like
Mhm.
going, doing, and that can actually lead to not just mental illness but physical illness.
Mhm.
The cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, all of it comes from stress and
Mhm.
anxiety and depression, all of it. So creating toolbox of things that you enjoy. So to everybody watching today, man, woman, child, write down things that bring you joy. Write down things that help you relax, that put you in a calming state. And if you don't know, talk to me and I will let you, because
Yeah.
it, yeah. So I like to, yeah.
Now,
like
I have
yes.
to ask you this, Chioma, since you threw it out there. I was going to put it in the comment. Matter of fact, I want even the ones watching us put it in the comment section. Now, what song is it that you danced to on that day when you said, I haven't danced in a while? What did you turn on, girlfriend?
Oh, it's always a Nigerian music.
I love it. I have been.
I also like Pharrell because I'm happy.
That's it.
There's
Yeah.
no way you can dance when you put that music on.
You cannot have an angry face listening to that song. The moment the beat drops, when it goes to duh, 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 you're going to get it. If you sit there like,
Yeah. And you replay
You
it
need
over
a
and
hug.
over and over.
I love it. So
It
listen,
changes the mood.
y'all heard Chioma say, start now. Ladies, start right now. Your self-care can be, like she said, small things. And I think people have deduced self-care to, oh, I need to go on a trip. Oh, I need to go
to
to
the
the
spa.
It can
Yeah.
be something as simple as going outside and listening to music or listening to the birds. So ladies,
Staying
if
off the
you,
phone.
that's
And if you're on the phone, find a comedic video,
there you go.
kids laughing.
Yes.
When you see kids laughing, you start laughing. You just
Listen, it works. I want to tell you guys this quick story since she just said that. And then I want to ask Michelle a question from the standpoint of dealing with youth. So you just said, find a video, find something laughing. So my mother is currently going through stage 4 breast cancer. So I had the opportunity of sitting with her through one of her recent chemo sessions. And because I don't like how sometimes those clinics can look and feel, so I'm like, I got to bring something into this. So one of the things that she loves is when I send her funny videos. And matter of fact, if any of y'all ever want to send my mama a funny video, just ask me what her name is on Facebook. I'll give it to you because she loves to get them and she needs that during this time. But I didn't even tell her I was doing it. I pulled out my phone and I went on YouTube and I typed in laughing monkey. That's all I typed in. And there is a video that has what they say is a laughing monkey. The doctor walked in and I played the video and she looked at me and bursted out laughing. But in that moment, her mind was stuck on the bad news that she had just heard. Her mind was stuck on the inevitability of, okay, this is what they said. This is what, so now we got to plan. And I'm like, no, we're not planning a funeral today. No, ma'am. In this moment, you're going to live. You're going to laugh. So we're going to listen to this laughing monkey. And then I went from there to some babies laughing. And I went from there to some dogs making funny faces. But even in that, that was a simple self-care moment for her while she was going through something. So y'all pull out those phones, look at a video, look at something that's going to make you laugh. Even if you feel like you just want to be grumpy, you can't be grumpy with laughing babies. You cannot. So Michelle, I know that all the kids want to do is get on the phone, but we got to break them away from the phone. So what can young people do to implement healthy self-care habits for themselves?
Well, first of all, we need to regulate that phone.
Come on.
There has to be regulation on that phone.
Yeah.
Social media, there has to be some type of regulation.
Yes.
Because if not, that they'll just sit there. Human beings do. I mean, grown adults do it.
That's right.
So, and not even, it just causes us not to have social skills, interpersonal skills.
Ooh, that's
We
good.
don't talk anymore.
That's good.
Right? We on the phone. We're either texting or we setting something, but we're not actually communicating sender to receiver. Like when Dale said, eye contact.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have that connection.
Yes.
Feel that energy. So a lot of things that I teach my kids is mindfulness.
There you go.
You know, we do vision boards. We journal. I talk about journaling. Give them some different types of tips of coping mechanisms. Just even something we call the hot cocoa method, that you just sit there and you breathe. You know, when you feel like you're in a moment that is not conducive for you and positive. So I think sometimes as human beings, I want to meet the person who can master cognitive dissonance. I don't know if there's a human being can do that. Because we're always either in the present, we're in the past, or we're thinking about the future.
Yeah.
So the more that you can stay in the present, the better off mentally for your mental health and your own body. It's oxytocin, just positive things to stay in the present moment. Yeah. And that is hard. That's hard. I tell my kids adulting is hard. But that is definitely hard to stay in the present moment, because
Yeah.
that's where the mind will start moving around.
Mhm.
And again, if the mind can have a woman think that they're chemically pregnant and there's no baby there, that just that is for me, that is
The
profound.
mind is powerful.
The mind is powerful.
It's
That's why it's connected to the gut.
that's that's good. That's good.
So just trying to help them to emotionally regulate themselves
Mhm.
so they can be in a better space.
I love that.
And then not only that, like we've all said, do something that makes you happy. What are the things that you do like? you know, um, and do those, promote those, and to always try to be positive. Is it hard? We create affirmations. I have a whole wall that's got nothing but affirmations on
Mm.
it. So I do that with our kids.
I love that. And it's necessary, especially the affirmation part, because our
Mhm.
kids are now repeating what they're seeing where on social media. So we have to make sure that they are saying things outside. And again, y'all, we're not saying social media is all bad, but if we're honest, our kids are seeing all of the bad it seems. It seems like they're seeing more bad than good. Yes, we see the cute videos sometimes that have positive messages, but even the way the algorithms are, and even the way
Yes,
that kids
yes.
search for things,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can. Powers that be will make sure that they show you what they want you to see.
Mm-hmm.
So we wonder why our children have these issues and these mindsets, and why women are that they're operating in the spirit of comparison, and why men are being, just made to feel like you can't feel, you just got to go, you got to do. Well, what are they seeing? What is being portrayed? So we have to be the ones to change that narrative. We have to be the ones to let them know, hey, no, you are okay. You have help. I don't care what that is. You can make it. You are strong. So that's vital. But anyway, let me get off my soapbox. Even in the comment section,
Mm-hmm.
we have that let me see. Samuel McKinney is telling us also eating healthy and good food. So our eating habits play a major role. Thank you so much, Samuel, for that. So listen, we've heard it before. You are what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
What are you eating, and what is it turning you into? But
And
we
our gut is the second brain. Some of the food
there you
we
go.
eat, too
I
much
love
sugar, even too
yeah.
much wheat, can actually make you crazy.
Wow.
That because
Wow.
everybody's body is different, and we
Mhm.
react to foods, and we think even alcohol. That's not a good coping mechanism.
Right.
But you drink a glass of wine, you feel better. Then the next thing you do, you're drinking a bottle every night, and you are
Mm.
numbing something that you're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be. And alcohol is a toxin for your body, and it just goes into everything. Like I said, physical and mental is connected. So
Wow.
we
Wow.
need to, yeah,
Listen,
we
y'all,
need
we
to.
are we are having such a good conversation, and I do not mean to cut you off. Can y'all
That's
believe our
okay.
time is almost up, and we still have a
Yeah.
whole other person to introduce? But before we do, Wendell, I got to hear from you. You got like 7.9 seconds. What is self care for men? What can men do to pour back into themselves?
Go get your annual checkup, man.
Bam.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I found out I have sugar diabetes type 2. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to eat right.
Mm.
Or if I don't, it affects my mental health.
Wow.
Hey, I have sleep apnea. And
Wow.
so if I don't sleep at night and I keep waking up as an automatic type of wake up so I can breathe type of thing,
Mhm.
I won't get enough sleep and I
Mm.
won't rest. I won't go into the realm sleeping. I
Mhm.
found out that with me having anxiety, I have to use medications that help me sleep throughout the night,
Mm.
along with using the CPAP machine.
Wow. Wow. So men, go get checkups. Please go get checkups. Please, please, please. Listen, y'all, this conversation is great, but we got to take a quick commercial break. Don't you move. Dr. Anissa, please play our next video so we can go into our next segment.
Today I'm going to be talking about my journey so far, but most importantly about mental health. Hi, what's up? My name's Jordan Nash. I'm a television and film actor. I'm from London and I'm 14. About 5 years ago, I just found myself in the biggest black hole and I was trying to dig myself out of it. From the outside, it looked like everything was really perfect and my life was smooth, but in contrast, behind closed doors, I was an absolute mental wreck. I just felt like I was just the worst person in the world. I felt like I didn't have any talents. I felt like I wasn't just doing anything. Speaking to my mum, I managed to then overcome my whole anxiety, and I actually had quite a lot of pressure. So it was really terribly affecting my mental health. I just didn't have the mental strength to do all of this. And so because I spoke to my mum, I was then able to, you know, figure out a way to incorporate all these activities and preparations for my scenes, and from there it just continued stepping up and up. A lot of people lately have been struggling with their mental health, and I think children do have problems, but as kids we typically have problems inside, but we keep them to ourselves, right? We just don't say them. As is Kids Mental Health Week, I just feel like there needs to be a lot more awareness. You know, even in parents, I don't think parents realize that this is such a major problem. The main point I'm stressing here is to speak to someone. If you have a problem inside, and it doesn't have to be your parents or whoever looks after you, it can be whoever you feel like you can speak to, but it has to start by talking. And so from that point, my mindset just completely changed. Like I think schools play a really crucial role as well for children to be able to speak out loud. I know a lot of people have, you know, busy lives, but I think it's really, really crucial to have moments where you can just ask each other if you're okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mm.
I love
Mm.
the ending of that. That baby said,
Mhm.
just ask each other, are you like, when is the last time that you just asked someone, are you okay? And then you gave them a moment to respond.
Mhm.
Sometimes we ask questions just to sound sincere, but you got to ask and then wait to listen, and listen with your mouth shut. Listen with your eyes focused. Listen with, we've talked about this eye contact. This baby, I don't think that she is one of the youth that Michelle is helping, but
No,
that
ma'am.
is
I
who
need her on my team.
I was about to say. She is a little you because she gets it. So if we could have more young people like that who get it, more
Mhm.
young people like that who can just help you see the bigger picture, that would be phenomenal. But listen, guys, we're getting close to being out of time, but we cannot end tonight without
Mhm.
this other phenomenal speaker that we have. So you all have met Michelle, you've met Chioma, you've met Wendell Fields, but tonight we have someone who is not just talking about it, but being about it. So within the city of Fayetteville, we have some great men and women who are on the city council who are actually putting boots to the ground. Now, tonight we've talked about mental health as it pertains to the youth, as it pertains to women and men. But what about our homeless population? What
Mhm.
about the unhoused population? When is the last time you thought about the mindset or the mental health of our homeless population? And tonight we are blessed to have Councilwoman Brenda McNair with us. So in the comment section, show her some love, throw up some hearts, let her know that you are excited to hear from her. So listen, we are just going to jump right into it with Councilwoman McNair, because we know that you are boots on ground, you're in it, you are intentional about this thing. So just give us a little bit of background on why we should even be concerned with the mental health spectrum of our unhoused population.
All right. For that warm introduction there. And well, I apologize for being late, first of all. Class. And however, I had to get on to say and express how this member had, had fallen into explaining.
Councilwoman, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but your connection is really, really bad. We can't hear anything you're saying. We want to make sure that the people can hear you. Okay, so we've lost her momentarily, but she will be back. But just so you all know, she is a part of an incentive that is here in the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I can't give the information like she can, but I know that she'll be back on. If by chance something happens, just make sure you please connect with her, because there is a major issue, but there is a solution. And there is a program that is literally boots on ground. I keep saying that on purpose, but they are being intentional in the city of Fayetteville, even because we are a military hub, Fort Liberty, formerly known as Fort Bragg, there are a lot of unhoused veterans that are within the city. Now, yes, there is a major homeless population, but believe it or not, a lot of them are veterans. And we could look at it and say, well, why in the world are there homeless veterans? They fought for our country. They've sacrificed. Why don't they have the resources that they need? The problem is there are resources available, but many just don't know where they are or how to get to them or who to talk to. And it's not even that the city or the government is hiding these things, but sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. So we have people like Councilwoman McNair who are making sure that these resources are highlighted for the community so that people will know, wait a minute, the person that I'm always feeding downtown, the person that I always see under that bridge, let me see if I can connect them. And we have other people in the city, and I'm glad that she was able to get back on. So listen, again, we have Councilwoman McNair. She is making sure that the resources available to our unhoused population, that they are made visible. So again, Councilwoman, if you could please just pick up where you left off, because we want to hear what you see and what you know is being done for our homeless population here in the city.
Hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we
My
can hear
Wi-Fi
you.
is kind of bad here. I'm at church. However, I just finished a class, and so I've been cut off here. So homeless population, actually, National Alliance found that permanent support, which combined of housing with support services, mental health treatments, has been effective in reducing crime among individuals' mental health issues. And the report also highlighted that the importance of providing targeted services and support to individuals in experiencing homelessness and mental health challenges. And another study published in the Journal of Urban Health found that programs that provide housing and support services to individuals with mental health issues can lead to improvement in mental health outcome, as well as reduction in substance abuse and criminal justice involvement. And the study emphasizes that there's a need for a comprehensive approach that addresses both housing and mental health needs. Actually, I serve on the homelessness and the mental health committee as the chair. And so my first inkling is as the chair is to I'm very optimistic that we utilize these programs through our community development department and grants that allocate throughout our community, partners that are actually in need of funding to help the that we have going on. My business to have anyone on the street for a long period of time. And those that are on the streets and living in encampments, my goal is to remove those folks from encampments, even if they do not want to be moved. A lot of times they do not want to be moved. We have funds to allocate so that these people do not have to live in these encampments. And we thank the Day Resource Center, because we have partners there that are boots on the ground, such as, hold on one second, such as COC, actually the hub of the Day Resource Center. You go through Miss Debbie. Miss Debbie can direct anyone that comes to the Day Resource Center and get them situated, get them organized, and get them to a place where they need to be so that they can live productive lives. Also, with the Day Resource Center, Manna Church is our new partner that's managing the Day Resource Center. They feed at 12 o'clock during the day. Really to that would be facility. Yeah.
Councilwoman, I'm sorry to cut you off again, but you were doing good, and your Wi-Fi is not being kind to you, and we need to hear you. We've heard some of the resources that you've talked about. So is there a way that our listeners can get a list of those resources? Because I want to make sure that the information you're given is available to everyone.
To the website, everything that we do is available to you on our city website. And so once you visit the website, you want to go to community development. That is community development. Has things there. Then also the persons that you are to contact in that department for these grants.
Okay, so if you're tuned in,
text.
okay,
Can you
so
hear me?
Your connection is going in and out, but we did catch that it is on the website for the city, and all they need to do is look up the community development. So if you look under community development, and if someone could please make sure they type that in the comment section, because we want to make sure that people know. Now, I know that, even with the spotty connection, she is giving us some very pertinent information, because oftentimes we don't think about what resources can I provide to the homeless population so that it can help their mental health. So even if you couldn't hear her as well, she is telling us, listen, there are things available, and they want to pull people off the street. She even mentioned that her desire is to pull the people out of these camps. There are many encampments all throughout the city and on the outskirts, but people like her, they want to make sure that these encampments aren't still in existence. And how do we do that? By bonding together, letting them know there is help, and then pointing them in the right direction. Now, no, you shouldn't just go up to a homeless person, an unhoused person, with a list of places. Well, here, go to this website, because how are they going to do it? Sometimes the library won't allow them to come in. Not all of them have phones. Not all of them have Wi-Fi. And if there are locations with free Wi-Fi, not everyone is as welcoming to our unhoused population. So let's be more intentional. If you are a ministry, an organization, a business, a person, a family that likes to go out and feed, when you go out and feed, ask them some questions. Let them know, hey, listen, I know of this resource. Councilwoman has told us about this. Can I make a phone call for you? Can I help you get to this place? There are ways to help them. So yes, a meal is great. Yes, there is even an organization called Off-Road Outreach within the city that provides showers. Showers are great. But after the meal and the shower, what are you doing to help them come out of that situation? And that is what Councilwoman is all about. She wants to make sure that we're not just talking about it, we are being about it, guys. So listen, we need you all to make sure that you connect with her and all of these phenomenal people. What I want to do now is I want to give space for them all to just share a couple of minutes, because again, I know between Wi-Fi and between us going off script and just talking, we've had such a great and powerful conversation. And truth be told, we could keep going for a long time, but listen, some of y'all got to go to work tomorrow. Some people got to get home. Some people need to eat. So I want to start with, listen, I know this is not the norm, but I want to start with the man on the team, Mr. Wendell Fields. Listen, Mr. Fields, let us know how we can connect with you. Let other men know. Just, you know what, just speak from your heart. I'm not even going to tell you what to say or what prompt. Just speak from your heart and let the men know what the men need to know tonight as it pertains to this topic. You're on mute, Mr. Fields. Come on, you got to start over. We can't hear you.
Okay, man. Change is not change until you change. We've been talking about it. We've been, just verbalizing it, but change isn't change until you change. And in that, you all, it took a change for me. I had become honest with myself and admit I had become transparent with others and be vulnerable. And then I had to follow the advice that they were telling me to do and it has made a difference in my life like nobody's business. Um, I wouldn't I wouldn't be here without the voice of a woman who is my mom, who said you are more than your diagnosis. She showed me that. And she showed me that through being a nurse practitioner. And with her being a nurse practitioner, she knocked out that she had bipolar disorder. So you are more than what your diagnosis says you are. You just got to learn how to manage it. Now, self care, yes. Medications, for me, yes. Um, Drawing, poetry, writing books, all those things assist me. But you have to approach it from a holistic approach, man. So you using the alcohol or you using the drugs, those things are destructive instead of constructive. And so you have to choose and be intentional and be decisive. And when you do that towards the good of you so that you can be good to others, you working, you I mean, you doing something right there, man. So please don't be prideful. Take away your pride and humble yourself and get what you need.
I love that. Listen, I hope y'all were listening because he gave us some powerful nuggets. But the first thing he said is change is not change until you change. Listen, I hope y'all caught that. That needs to be on a t-shirt. I don't know if it's trademarked or what, but change is not change until you change. So thank you so much. I need y'all to give it up in the comments. Throw up some hearts for Mr. Wendell Fields. He is our men's health, mental health advocate. So thank you so much. Next, the beautiful Chioma Okoye, the one who wants to make sure that women are in the right vein as it pertains to their mental health. Chioma, let us know how we can connect. Just share your heart. Give whatever final remarks you have for the women on tonight.
Well, you can connect with me on my website, chomzy.com, chiomzy.com. I'm on Facebook and I share a lot of wellness videos on TikTok and sometimes on Instagram, and trying to take care of my own mental health and not be on social media too much. One thing I would tell the women is to be kind to yourself. Self-care, I always say, is health care. We have to love ourselves enough to take care of ourselves. Because when we take care of ourselves, we are able to take care of everybody else that we have to take care of, and be able to do it with a genuine smile, not a fake smile, and be able to do it without making ourselves sick or resenting the people that we have to take care of or the job that we have to do. So be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. We are all struggling. Wendell did put in the chat, I don't know if you showed to everybody, NAMI.org for those that already have mental illness to get more information, or if you think you do. Mental Health America were the people that initiated the Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May, and the green color we are wearing today. They have a lot of information on building your self-care tool, on several numbers to call for different group of people where you get peer support, professional support, you take a quiz for the youth. They have all that. If someone you live with is struggling or you think they have problems, they have solutions on how you can help them. If you yourself, so mentalhealthamerica.com, I think .com or .org, look that up and talk to someone. If you need to, talk to someone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Michelle, come on for our babies, for our youth. Share some final remarks and let everyone know how they can connect with you.
So I would say just talk to your children. Take the time to undivided attention to them and talk to your children. It takes a whole community for us to make sure they're successful and for all of us to be successful. So we have to work together. I will also say you got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else and take care of anybody else. And then 2, participate with the change. Don't react to it. There's a lot of things out in society today for us to be negative, but we can be positive. So to just try to do that on a daily basis. And if you don't have those resources or don't have the help, the assistance, it's okay to ask. Actually, when we ask for things, that's actually strong. That's showing strength. That's not showing a sign of weakness. So I would say, stay off that phone as much as you can. Go outside and play. Children and teens. But definitely, if there's somebody that you feel is a safe space for you, and you can be authentic with, talk to them and share your experiences with them so you can be better. Because I think society, it's unfortunate, but we have to really be, like we said, a lot of people said earlier today, be intentional with what we say, what we do, all of that, so we can be more in a positive mindset. And I'm on social media. I'm on all platforms, Michelle McKinney, and to include Ugly Essentials.
I love it. I love it. Listen, she said one thing that stuck out to me. Babies, get off the phone and go outside and play. Okay. And I know people say, oh, well, when I was young, I didn't have a phone. Well, no, we didn't have phones. We played outside. But I think that message is for some adults too. Get off of social media. Get off the phone, get off the computer, take a break. That spreadsheet can wait. Those emails can wait. Go outside and have some fun. Please get some vitamin D the natural way. Okay, guys. So listen, also, we got to hear from final remarks from Councilwoman McNair. Now, of course, we've had some issues, but Councilwoman, we do want you to please make sure you put the information, even if you send it in our group chat, Dr. Anissa can make sure that it is posted, but let us know how people can connect with you and any other information that you want to share with us as it pertains to mental health and our homeless population.
Okay, I do want to share me. Good. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I think you found a good spot and then the spot ran from you. So we got to get that good spot.
Move around. Let me see. Look, my bars are going away.
Now, wherever you are right now, it's working. Wherever you are right now, it is working. Yes, ma'am.
Right, that's good right there. All right. Look. Oh, okay. I do want to share with you guys the good place on my heart before I became the chair, but I didn't know I was going to be here. Later March to start a project called, actually, it was an adoption program, and we named it Lifeline Allowance.
Councilwoman, we're losing you again. Oh, I hate that because she was going into it. I want to hear it. Oh my
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
we hear you now.
Let me move around a little bit. I'll be going in the dark right now. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. And now she's frozen. Listen, guys, I need you all to make sure that you please connect. We're going to make sure that the information she has is available. And what we'll do is after the fact, we will just have Dr. Anissa and even Councilwoman, they'll be able to go back and post it in the comment section. So please make sure that you connect with her because she was talking about this new initiative. We want to hear about it and we want to, hey, we never know who else is watching is able to help her or has resources that they can share to make this what it needs to be. So you all, we are so excited. We are so appreciative Again, I am Ebony M. Walker. I am your host and facilitator for tonight. We want to give it up for the CEO of Chosen Pen, Dr. Norma McLaughlin. Thank you so much, Dr. Norma, for this space, for this time. A lot of information was given. So if you missed the announcements in the beginning, go back and watch the replay. Dr. Anissa, thank you for holding down the fort to make sure we kind of get this thing flowing like we need to. There were so many announcements that were made. So if you have a book, if you are interested in being a vendor, there are events that are upcoming hosted by Chosen Pen that everyone can benefit from. So please make sure that you connect with Chosen Pen. Be sure to like, share, and tag. And hear me, this will not be the last that you see of us. We're going to be having some more powerful, pertinent conversations. Why? Because we are responsible for changing the narrative. So if we can do something to change the narrative in the right direction, then that is what we are going to be committed to doing. So you all listen, on behalf of Dr. Norma Chosen Pen, again, we thank you for being a part of our end of the month mental health awareness virtual summit. We do pray that something was said that will help you recognize you are not alone. But no matter what you do, you got to change. But speak up about the change. Don't be afraid to say, I need a change. I need to change. I need some change. Whatever goes in that, it's okay to speak up. And if you are in need of speakers for your event or for something upcoming, please connect with these women and this man, please. Now, Mr. Fields, he is in Georgia, but he don't mind traveling. I promise you he don't. The rest of us are in North Carolina, but we don't mind traveling either. Connect with us. If you have a book project and you're interested in being interviewed, reach out to Chosen Pen, reach out to Dr. Anissa so that you can get on the Chosen Pen podcast so that your book can be highlighted. But above all, we want you to prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. That is our desire for you tonight. So happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you for being a part of this pertinent conversation. And we want you to have an amazing night. And if you need somebody to talk to, resources are available to you. Blessings to you all. Thank you for joining us. Have an amazing night.